Welcome to Family Business Breakthroughs, where we bring you time-saving, money-making strategies to improve your business even more. With over 3 decades of experience serving multi-generational family businesses, we've got time-tested solutions that get the results you're looking for. Listen in and get ready for your next breakthrough. I am your host, Jim Berner, and if you're looking for the one thing that is going to accelerate your business and change it for the better, now that the election is over, you're in luck. That is what we are going to be talking about today. But first, I want to take a second and show my appreciation, for the United States. As Americans, we have a great honor in democracy, and that is being able to have free elections for the people who represent us. And I am extremely grateful for the men and women who put their lives on the line each and every day to preserve our freedom. Thank you so much for what you do and the protection that you provide. And this year's election is certainly historical. Number 47 becomes the first former president to return to the White House in more than 130 years. But did you feel like there was just a lot more, tension, with this election than normal? All the commercials, all the social media, friends and family talking about it. It was just like, wow, like, come on, could we stop? As I am sure you are aware, on November 5th, the citizens of the United States of America have elected the 47th president, Donald Trump. He received 312 electoral votes to Harris's 226. It was an incredible win. And we saw that the Senate majority is Republican and the House appears to be headed towards that way as well, for what they're calling the trifecta. But no matter whether you're on the left or you're the right, what do you do now? Now what? Well, let's go through just some of the potential policy changes you might have seen from the Trump campaign. So let's go over some of these together. Corporate taxes, Donald Trump has talked about lowering those from 21% to 15%, and that's for domestic manufacturers. Proposed tariffs of 10 to 20%, on foreign goods, the exemption of income taxes on earned tips and Social Security wages and overtime wages. There is now favorable domestic energy production and policies that have been expressed within the Trump campaign. And Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, Michael Barr, Fed banking regulator, their terms are up in 2026. So do you keep them? Do you replace them? And I'm sure that you have seen the interview with Jerome Powell. This is great, where they ask, if Trump asks you to resign, would you do it? And he just simply replies no. And speaking of the Federal Reserve, they have now completed 2 consecutive rate cuts, one on September 18th, 50 basis points, the most recent, November 7th of 25 basis points. And then there is the next Fed meeting, that's December 17th and 18th. So what's going to happen there? I don't know, but probably from what you have heard, from the Trump campaign or just from Trump in general, he has thought that Jerome Powell has not handled this situation the best, really wanted him to lower the effective rate a much faster pace right now. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But with all these external variables, none at which you can control, what should a family business leader do? That's what we're going to be discussing next. So stick around.
Running a family business comes with unique challenges that not everyone understands. At Meridian, with over 3 decades of experience, we've seen these challenges firsthand. That's why we created Meridian Members, an exclusive platform designed to equip you with everything you need, from articles and videos to in-depth insights on growth strategies, company culture, and streamlined operations. We tackle the toughest family business challenges so you can focus on what truly matters, building a lasting legacy. Whether you're working on team dynamics or preparing for your next leader, Meridian Members is here to support your every step. Meridian is the trusted resource you can count on. Visit us at askmeridian.com to learn more about the resources that will drive your business forward.
Welcome back, everyone. We just discussed the election, some of the potential changes that you could see in the near future. Even if Republicans claim the majority in the House and the Senate, I'm sure that you're going to have the left that will find ways to file suit, prolonging processes, and it doesn't matter that it would be either way, right? Things that you don't like. This is just what happens in politics right now. And I can't take credit for this next quote, but I've heard no matter what happens in the White House, what really matters is what happens in your house. And if you're looking for the one thing that is going to accelerate your business and change it for the better, you must focus on what you can control. You cannot wait for the changes in the marketplace or potentially good people coming around asking for jobs. You have to go for it. You have to be intentional about what you want. I want to share with you 3 common gaps I see when working with family businesses. Ready? Okay, so let's get into the first one here. Gap number 1, not having a strategic plan. This is your roadmap. You are trying to get from point A to point B. How do I know that point B has been achieved if I don't know where I'm going? At Meridian, we work with great leaders. We go on site to assist in strategic planning. And a pitfall we see is business owners having a plan just in their head. They never get it out of their head and written down, shown to other people, talking to them about it. It needs to get out of your head and onto a written document, okay? For other leaders and other family members to be able to see, they need to know where they're going and they need to know that they fit into the plan. Sometimes owners know where they want to be in 5 years. They're big thinkers, and I love that, but not necessarily in just the 1 year or the next quarter, and that's okay. But I want to encourage you to then reverse engineer your plan. And this is one thing I love to do. If I have a big idea, I take what the end result is going to be and I work my way backwards. We're going to want to be starting a new calendar year here soon. We all are. And you might be thinking about, okay, do I have a planning meeting? Have the planning meeting. This is what Meridian does. We teach it. If you need us, reach out to us. But who are the strategic people that you might need to achieve your goals? That's one of the biggest pieces, right? You need the right people. Do you need more drivers? Do you need more salespeople? Do you need a CFO? Do you might need a financial analyst? Do you need a business intelligence analyst? Do you need marketing? Do you need IT? Who are the people that are going to need to be beside you, work with you in order to achieve that final goal? Or what top or bottom line figure do you want to hit, right? I know you have a dollar goal in your head. What would feel great? And how do you want to grow? Do you want to grow organically? Do you want to grow through acquisition? And have you considered diversification? That is a big piece now in family business. We talked about in our last episode about the silver tsunami, but who are the vendors that you use that are also family businesses? Could those people become a part of your acquisition strategy to grow? Gap number 2. Let's get into gap number 2 here. And that is unknown financial position. It is common that I review the financials when I can. And sometimes that means leadership is so busy in the day to day that there's no scheduled time to dive into the financials to know exactly how well or how unfortunately bad a company's financial position is, especially in family business. I'm not saying that you have to have a degree from Harvard, to be able to go through, the financials, but having a set time is important. So first thing is first, take a look at how fast you're getting your financials. Is it within a week or is it at the end of the month? Because by the end of the month, you can't make any real changes that are effective. You got to get those financials early. we always highly suggest doing some form of, planning out, taking a look at your processes, understanding how long those are going, and then being able to simplify those processes, expedite them. How do you do that? I also want to encourage you to complete a very basic financial analysis of trends. You can easily put your numbers into an Excel spreadsheet, a Google Sheet on a month to month basis, and then start to see the direction of where your company's going. And if you have a line of credit with a bank, I know they are making sure you don't go over some of those covenants, right? So you need to make sure and understand exactly what the covenants are within your line of credit. Make sure you're meeting those. For my people who do have it, all right? And so then you're taking a look at the trends and you're asking yourself, well, how are my numbers are doing? Is sales going up? Sales going down? My expenses increasing? And then on your balance sheet, how's your cash looking? These are all things, I sit down with clients to review on a day-to-day basis and explain in our valuation reports as well. We also put together some financial analysis reports too, but seeing numbers going up or down should not be the end-all be-all. And this is where I really coach owners, their families, and the other financial professionals that they have on their teams too, is that you have to ask yourself why. What is the story behind the numbers of why things are happening that way? Sometimes the increase in expenses is just because of the growth that's going on, not necessarily that it's bad or the company is doing bad. So, really understanding, taking a deep dive in those numbers is what you're going to want to do to know your financial position. And then finally, let's talk about gap number 3, keeping all of your customers, including the bad ones. Wait, Jim, how is keeping all of my customers a bad thing? Don't I want to retain all my customers? Yes, you want to keep your good customers, but you want to get rid of the bad customers too, right? Got to get rid of the bad ones. But how do you know if you have a bad customer? Let me ask you an easy question right now. If you close your eyes, just close your eyes for a second with me. I know this is crazy. We're on a podcast and I'm asking you to close your eyes. When you see a certain customer calling your phone, do you just sit there and go, oh, not again? Right? Is there someone who's popped into your mind, and I can almost guarantee that they have, that you're like, oh my goodness, not again? Bad customers take more of your time, your team's time away from the good customers. And it's not just a once in a while thing, right? Where you're trying to go above and beyond and show some good customer service. This is an all the time thing. Now, look, I get it. In family business, customers are different than the big conglomerate world out there. They aren't just the number, they're friends, sometimes they're family. They're in your community that you serve each and every day. Sometimes you got to make difficult decisions. When was the last time you looked at your customer list and asked yourself, who's a good employee? Or I'm sorry, who's a good customer? Who's not? Right? Are some of your customers treating your employees bad? That could be causing turnover, right? Retention problems. Are some customers not paying on time or at all? Are there specific industries or segments that give you more problems than others? And if you want more A plus awesome customers, the first thing you got to do is seek out the referrals from the A plus customers, right? Ask them, who do you know that I should know? Maybe you can get in there. Maybe you can earn that other business, right? The next best thing we have seen with family businesses, when they take a look at customer lists and determine who are their A plus customers, they determine the location and the industry that they're in, just like the bad ones, right? And finally, they determine, where do they go? What do they read? And I'm not talking that you need to stalk these people, right? But, if you have yourself a small town that you're living in, or you have that has like a local convenience store or a diner where people go, can you drop off flyers to? What type of marketing could you do with that? Again, like what they read, if there's local newspapers or magazines, can you advertise in those, right? So more people are taking a look and they're seeing you. the way you can advertise there, and the same thing goes with what they read as well. It's really important that you're taking a look at that so that way you get in front of their eyeballs. I just went through, these three common gaps with you that we see in family business, right? But before I recap, let's reiterate that these common gaps are what you can control, and that is what is important, right? You can control having a strategic plan. You can control knowing your financial position for the future, and you can control keeping your best customers and firing bad customers that are taking time away from growing your business. That is what's important. What is in your control? So, everyone, I want to say, thank you for listening in. Check out the show description and the notes and the links for the website, how, we can help your business with strategic planning and cash flow management. That is what we do. Feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, and hit that subscribe button down below so that way you can catch all the new content. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for being on here, and I'll see you next time on Family Business Breakthroughs.